In the quiet little town of Shadow Valley, there lived a young man named Samuel. His modest house stood right on the eastern edge of the town, where the thick, eerie forest began, a place most people avoided and whispered about in fear. Samuel earned his living as a simple carpenter, shaping wood with steady hands day after day. But deep inside, he always dreamed of great wealth and the grand adventure that would change his life forever. One moonlit night, while the world slept, a strange voice called to him from the depths of the forest. It was like a whisper carried on the wind, promising secrets and treasures. Samuel hesitated only for a moment. He grabbed his trusty axe and an old oil lantern, lit the wick, and stepped into the darkness to follow the mysterious call. He walked for hours through tangled trees and twisting paths until he reached a hidden cave concealed behind a small, sparkling waterfall. Inside, by the flickering light of his lantern, he discovered an ancient map carved directly into the stone wall. The carvings told of the eternal dragon jewel, a legendary gem hidden in the heart of the forbidden forest. Without a second thought, Samuel decided to undertake the perilous journey. The next morning, as the sun rose in golden rays, he packed a small bag and set off toward the unknown. His first challenge came deep in the woods, a pack of giant wolves with glowing eyes guarding a narrow pass. Using his quick thinking, Samuel lit a small fire that scared the beasts away, allowing him to slip past unharmed. 2 days later, he entered the fog valley, where the mist was so thick he could barely see 2 meters ahead. Strange humming filled the air, and shadowy creatures moved all around him in the fog. Soon he realized they were guardian spirits, testing his courage. He answered their wise and riddling questions with complete honesty, and impressed by his bravery and truthfulness, they opened the way forward. At last he arrived at Fire Mountain, a massive volcano encircled by walls of roaring flame. With astonishing skill and steady nerves, Samuel leaped across shifting stone bridges suspended over rivers of molten lava, finally reaching the peak where a secret entrance led into the ancient dragon temple. Inside the dimly lit temple, a colossal red dragon slept coiled around the glowing blue eternal dragon jewel. Samuel crept forward quietly, but the beast's eyes snapped open in an instant. A ferocious battle erupted, flames roared, claws slashed, and the cavern shook. Samuel dodged blasts of fire and swung his axe with all his might. In a clever move, he threw a rope around one of the dragon's massive horns, pulled with every ounce of strength, and brought the creature crashing down on its side, exposing its vulnerable chest. But instead of striking the killing blow, Samuel paused. He spoke gently to the dragon and learned the terrible truth. It was cursed, bound to guard the jewel for centuries. With compassion, Samuel returned the jewel to its rightful place in the dragon's heart. A blinding light exploded through the temple. The curse shattered, and the dragon transformed into a wise old man filled with gratitude. The old sage thanked Samuel deeply and gave him a heavy sack filled with pure gold. He also promised to forever protect the forest that had once imprisoned him. After 3 long months, Samuel returned home to Shadow Valley, dusty and weary, but carrying unimaginable riches. The townspeople could hardly believe their eyes. They thought he had vanished forever. With his newfound wealth, Samuel bought vast lands and built a luxurious home for his family. He opened a large carpentry workshop and hired dozens of people from the town, bringing prosperity to everyone. Within just 2 years, he became the richest man in the entire region. Yet he never forgot the forest or the lessons it taught him about courage, kindness, and wisdom. He established a protected nature reserve around the once feared woods to keep it safe for future generations. Samuel married a kind-hearted woman from the town, and together they raised 3 wonderful children. Every night by the warm fireplace, he told his family the story of his adventure as a bedtime tale. Over time, Samuel's journey grew into a beloved legend passed down through generations in Shadow Valley. And from a distant hilltop, the wise old man, who was once the dragon, watched over the thriving town with quiet affection and pride. And so it was that a poor, dreaming young carpenter became a wealthy, wise man who left an eternal mark on his world.